The humble tank has been terrorizing battlefields ever since the early days of the First World War, but its invention is credited 500 years earlier to Leonardo Da Vinci with his UFO-looking fighting vehicle. Tanks have always been designed as a portable, armored fortress, capable of both absorbing punishing amounts of damage while returning fire over a variety of difficult terrain. They've proven to be a decisive edge in trench warfare, urban assaults, and other land-based operations, capable of obliterating enemy positions and providing cover for advancing infantry. So it makes sense that militaries around the world would seek to develop effective anti-tank weapons to level the playing field. Everything from armor-piercing artillery to smart explosives, all the way to laser-sat-guided missile strike systems, we get both creative and calculated when it comes to taking down a tank. Interested yet? If you haven't worked it out already, in today's video, we're taking a look at the best anti-tank weapons in military production today. Okay, so where were we? A brief history of the use of military tanks. As war broke out across Europe at the start of the 20th century, British were sick of the stubborn and costly trench warfare of the Western Front and were looking for ways to gain an advantage over the Germans. The concept of an armored land boat was pitched to Winston Churchill as a solution to this problem. The idea hinged on a conveyor belt style wheel system that could cross complex terrain, including trenches, with ease. Churchill was sold, and immediately ordered development of the concept, with the first prototype, Little Willie, completed in 1915. After some engineering challenges, war field testing, and design overhaul, the second prototype was unveiled and aptly named the Mark I. Mass production begun, and the first tank fleet was shipped to the front line in France to make their hugely awaited battlefield debut. It's safe to say the Mark I's first battlefield performance was the exact opposite of a raging success. Of the 49 Mark I tanks shipped to France, only 32 were fit for battle. On September 15, 1916, during the Battle of Somme, near Courcelette, France, these 32 hot, noisy, and unwieldy contraptions were ordered to advance on German lines. Only 9 made it into no man's land, and British troops suffered extremely heavy losses. It turns out, in 1916, the best anti-tank weapon was the tanks themselves. The second iteration, the Mark II, was much better and designs improved from there. The first official anti-tank weapon was developed by the Germans, and it essentially was just a scaled-up Mauser 1918 T-Guerre bolt-action rifle. The rifle was modified to fire a 13mm cartridge with a solid bullet that could penetrate the thin armor of early tanks and destroy the engine or ricochet inside, killing the driver, gunner, and crew. Luckily since then, the humble tank has had some serious upgrades. Better armor, better weapons, and all the advanced tech that comes with computing and modern innovation. As a result, militaries around the world have had to think outside the box and develop extremely specialized weapons designed only for disabling, disarming, and destroying enemy tanks. Let's take a look at some of the modern anti-tank weaponry in military deployment today. 12. The 9M133M Coronet M. First developed in Russia in 1988, the 9K133 Coronet is a portable anti-tank laser-guided weapon developed as a more capable and longer-range alternative to the late Cold War-era 9K111 Fagot AT-4 Spigot and 9K113 Conqueror's AT-5 Spandrel. While it was designed for anti-tank operations, it's also capable of destroying a whole range of other small targets, including lightly armored vehicles, infantry, various kinds of fortifications, and enemy infrastructure. The latest development can even destroy enemy air targets. The ability to destroy targets in an automatic mode reduces the psychophysical load on the operators of the complex, the requirements for their qualifications, and reduces the time for their training. 11. The HJ-12. The HJ-12, or Red Arrow 12, is a third-generation anti-tank missile developed by China North Industries Corporation, Norinco. Unveiled in 2014, the 17-kilogram missile system can be both carried and fired by a single soldier using a mounted tripod and a launch unit. According to the manufacturer, the missile of the HJ-12 complex is equipped with an infrared imaging sensor that allows the missile system to be used at any time of the day, no matter the weather conditions. TV imaging sensors can be added exclusively for daytime operations, doubling the range of the IR variant to 2.4 miles, 4 kilometers. Tandem heat warheads are equipped and specially designed to hit a wider range of targets and penetrate armored structures. Field tests have routinely demonstrated their effectiveness with a penetration of up to 1,100 mm of armor. 10. The Spike LR2. Another missile system, affectionately known as a fire-and-forget missile system, this Israeli developed weapon is the latest variant in the Spike family of 5th-generation anti-tank guided missile systems. Designed for use by infantry and light combat vehicles, the new LR2 variant of the Spike anti-tank missile system provides increased armor penetration and a longer range compared to previous models. Versatile, it can be mounted and fired from helicopters and watercraft and comes with infrared seekers with a smart target trackers and artificial intelligence features. The Spike LR2 is equipped with two warhead configurations, a tandem heat warhead and a multi-purpose blast warhead that can reach up to 20 centimeters of steel-reinforced concrete or 900 millimeters of steel explosive reactive armor. These warheads can then detonate internally, doing targeted, contained damage. Spike LR2 can engage targets at a range of 3.4 miles, 5.5 kilometers, when fired from the ground launcher, while the missile launched from the helicopter can attain a maximum range of 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers. 9. The TOW-2. The TOW missile system has been developed and used by the US Army for over 40 years, proving to be an exceptionally reliable and effective weapon. The next generation of the system, specialized for anti-tank warfare, is the TOW-2A system, and it was commissioned in 1987. Other variants included the TOW-2B Arrow for air targets and the TOW-2A Bunker Buster. No prizes for guessing what the Bunker Buster targets. In the US Army, the TOW-2 launchers are typically used by separate anti-tank companies for heavy anti-armor work. This menacing anti-armor weapon is serviced by a crew of 3 soldiers, including a commander, gunner, and an assistant gunner. Mounted on a tripod launch tube, the entire system can be disassembled and transported by the crew in a matter of minutes. The TOW-2 has an operational range of 2.4 miles, 4 kilometers, and is available in both a wireless and wire-guided variant. The wireless missiles require no special alterations to the launcher and is carried in a separate, sealed container that is clipped to the launcher before firing. 8. Mapats. Though it is easily confused with the BGM-71 TOW at first glance, the Israeli-developed Mapats differs by having a laser-guided target tracking system instead of using wire or RF guidance. Designed for use by infantry, vehicles, and helicopters, the word Mapats has a double meaning. Its acronym stands for Man-Portable Anti-Tank System, and at the same time, Mapats is also Hebrew onomatopoeia for an explosion. With an operational range of 3.1 miles, 5 kilometers, the Mapats' original warhead was capable of penetrating 800 millimeters of steel armor, which was adequate to defeat any tank in service in the mid-1980s. Since then, variations in tandem warheads being the penetration capability up to 1200 millimeters. 7. MMP. The MMP is another anti-tank weapon with a double meaning hidden in the name. For Western customers, MMP stands for multi-purpose missile. The French inventors of the system call it the Missile Moyenne Portée. Developed in 2012, the MMP is an intimidating 5th-generation anti-tank guided missile. With an attack range of 2.4 miles, 4 kilometers, and a tandem-shaped charge warhead, the MMP can defeat anything from tanks to bunkers and hostile troops and buildings. The MMP offers non-line-of-sight launch for both extreme ranges and obscured targets. It can penetrate up to 1,000 millimeters of steel explosive reactive armor. 6. Sureshin. Developed in Belarus, the Sureshin was built as a variant of the Ukrainian Skiff anti-tank guided missile system. The upgraded Sureshin D model features laser guidance, collapsible tripod configuration, and dual 130mm missile launch tubes that can be fixed on the same pivoting mount. With a maximum effective range of 3.4 miles, 5.5 kilometers, its RK-2S missile has a tandem-shaped charge warhead that can penetrate 800mm of steel explosive reactive armor. Such penetration is more than enough for disabling current-generation main battle tanks. 5. Utmas. Also known as the Mizrak-U, this long-range air-to-surface anti-tank missile is the first man-portable anti-armor missile ever to be developed in Turkey. Developed by Turkish firm Roketsan, the missile system can be fitted with infrared imaging or laser guidance and can be launched in both fire and forget mode as well as fire and update mode. The Utmas was designed to knock out heavily armored ground targets, primarily launched from the back of T-129 attack and AH-1W Cobra attack helicopters. Powered by HTPB-based smokeless composite solid propellant, the Utmas anti-tank missile has an effective firing range between 0.3 and 4.9 miles, 0.5 kilometers and 8 kilometers, with warheads penetrating up to 1,100 millimeters of armor. 4. Milan ER. One of the oldest missile systems in production, design of the Milan started in 1962. Comparatively rudimentary when compared to modern guidance systems, the Milan is a wire-guided SACLOS, semi-automatic command to line-of-sight missile, which means the sight of the launch unit has to be aimed at the target to guide the missile. The Milan can be equipped with a Mira or Milis thermal sight to give it night firing ability, and the Milan ER variation extends its range to 1.8 miles, 3 kilometers. Equipped with tandem heat warheads, the Milan ER can penetrate and detonate explosive reactive armor (ERA) tiles, paving the way for the main heat warhead to penetrate the armor behind. Such penetration is sufficient to destroy even the most heavily armored main battle tanks. This missile is also capable of penetrating more than 6 feet, 2 meters of reinforced concrete. 3. Inlaw. The main battle tank and light anti-tank weapon, MBT Law, also known as the Inlaw, was developed by Saab Bofors Dynamics in a joint British and Swedish R&D program. It's the first ever non-expert short-range anti-tank missile system operable by an individual soldier. With each missile launch unit weighing just 12.5 kilograms, the Inlaw allows one-man portability in confined spaces. The Inlaw weapon system approaches the target guided by predicted line of sight (PLOS), employing overflight top attack (OTA mode) for tanks and other armored targets, while direct attack (DA mode) is used for non-armored targets. 2. The Pars-3 LR. The Pars-3 LR is the primary weapon of the Tiger attack helicopters operated by the German army. The 1.6 meter long missile weighs 49 kilograms, and the weapon system allows salvo firing with a rate of fire of up to 4 missiles in less than 10 seconds. The jamming-resistant infrared seeker aboard the missile ensures the engagement of different targets in indirect or top attack modes. The Pars-3 LR missile can carry a tandem-shaped charge warhead covering a range of 7 kilometers. Number 1. The Javelin. Our number 1 is simply the GOAT, the most famous missile of all time. The staple of modern military warfare was manufactured by the Raytheon Lockheed Martin Javelin joint venture back in 1989, but upgrades has thrust this anti-tank weapon into the future. Utilizing automatic infrared guidance that allows the combatant to seek cover immediately after firing, the Javelin, a fire-and-forget missile system with lock-on before launch and automatic self-guidance. It's like cruise control for your bazooka. The Javelin's range depends on where it is mounted or fired from, but can be effective from 1.5 miles, 2.5 kilometers, to 2.4 miles, 4 kilometers. Like most of the anti-tank guns in today's video, heat warheads are capable of destroying modern tanks by attacking them either from above where their armor is thinnest or directly at weak or destroyed points. And that's all the time we have for today's video. We hope you enjoyed taking a look at some of the deadliest and effective anti-tank weapons in military production today. Please give this video a like if you learned something new, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss another amazing video from Insane Reality. See you next time.